Hi there, this is Ivan Parker, National Leader of the Apostolic Church, United Kingdom. I'm here to endorse a new initiative called Fuel the Fire. It's a call to prayer and fasting on the 10th of September this year. This initiative comes to stir us up into corporate prayer, and it comes from our National Youth Director, Jacob Parker, and the youth team. And they're urging all of us, whether we're young or old, but particularly our young people, to engage in this prayer event. The team has called us together with these stirring words. Corporate prayer and fasting is a bold stand, not just against the world's norms, but heaven's purposes to be fulfilled in the next generation. As followers of Jesus, we're called to live differently, to walk to the beat of a different drum, often against the grain of our culture. In the book of Daniel, found in the Old Testament, we read the story of a young man who knew the power of prayer and fasting. Daniel lived in an extremely hostile environment, and yet he knew grace and favor in his own life and also through his life. It was his prayer and fasting that brought radical change to the world he lived in. In chapter 6 of the book of Daniel, we read of that very familiar story of Daniel being thrown into the lion's den, and of God's intervention by shutting the mouths of those lions so that no harm came to Daniel, not even a single scratch. It's a great story, we know that. But why was Daniel thrown to the lions? It was because prayer was banned. Unless it was directed to the king of the Persian Empire, Darius, then all prayer was banned. The consequences for breaking this law was death, a gruesome one by lions. In this chapter, we see that Daniel was fully aware of that new law, and yet he made an incredible decision, a courageous decision. He decided not to capitulate, but to stay true to his commitment to the true and living God. You see, for Daniel, there was no higher authority than his God. He was loyal to King Darius, but he was totally devoted to the King of Kings. We read that Daniel didn't just secretly pray, but openly. With his window open, people could see him on his knees and hear his supplications to the Lord. You see, for Daniel, there was only one voice that really mattered in his life, and that was the voice of the Lord, his God. The high calling of communion with his God through fervent prayer was a priority for Daniel. For that young man, even if it had consequences. The question is that our priority too? The text tells us that he prayed with his window open. September the 10th is a window of opportunity to step up together, united in purpose in our corporate prayer and fasting, believing that prayer changes everything. Daniel prayed in his upper room. In this call to corporate prayer, can we take this to another level? Some prayer is great. More prayer is greater. You see, God's greatness always trumps the enemy's plans. In Genesis, we read about Joseph and his awful life, and yet he had a great testimony. He was able to say, after many struggles, what the enemy meant for evil, God turned to good for the salvation of many. We serve a living God, the God of greater. So, as we take this window of opportunity to corporately go to another level in prayer and supplication, let's expect greater. Greater in our own lives, greater in the lives of others through our life, greater in our nation, and greater in the nations. Daniel was just a young man. He achieved all that in his lifetime. Let me just read you, as we close, those last verses in chapter 6 from 25. Then King Darius wrote to all the nations and the peoples of every language in all the earth, may you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescued and saved. He performed signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. So, Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. What an incredible testimony about prayer and fasting. Let's fuel the fire together, 10th of September 2025. God bless you.